The energy sector in correction territory and sinking again this morning, coming off what was a rough week. The XLE is now more than 12% off of its 52-week high. Meantime, Saudi Aramco saying it will sell up to 0.5% of its shares to individual investors. What could be the largest initial public offering, or certainly one of the largest we've seen in some time. Joining us now is Al-Husseini Energy founder and former Saudi Aramco Executive Vice President Sadad Al-Husseini. Always good to have you with us, sir. Love to just get your take overall on anything that may have surprised you. We've gotten a 600-page document outlining the plans for the taking public of Aramco. Anything in there that you looked at as somebody who worked for the company for quite some time? I know it's been a while since you were there, but that you looked at and thought, that's particularly interesting or unexpected?
Well, good morning. No, I thought the write-up was very clear, very detailed, frankly. A lot of information about both the subscriptions and the timetable and the potential evaluations and advantages. About 1 billion shares are being offered for individuals in the kingdom, perhaps up to 3 billion for institutional investors. The timing is very soon. They'll be accepting offers next week, the 17th, and then there'll be the institutional investors will have up to December 4 to make up their offers. And soon after that, they'll be announcing the allocations. I think it's December 5th, and we go live on the Saudi stock market right after that. So it's a very exciting historical event, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, the company recently reporting earnings for the quarter in which it took the hit from those attacks in September on its production facilities. What, if anything, do you think they need to say to reassure investors about the future and what they can do to make sure supply disruptions from a potential attack in the future don't happen again?
Yeah, I did look at those numbers. Compared to the third quarter of 2018, we were down. But actually, I think that didn't have much to do with the attack. I think that had more to do with the fact that the average oil prices in 2018 for that quarter were about $72 or $73 a barrel of Brent. Whereas now, this last quarter, it was closer to $61 or $62. I think that had the big effect, a lot more so than the attack on both Abqaiq and Khurais, which, at the end of the day, production was only cut by half the volume for a few days, 3 days or 4 days, and then it was brought right back up within 10 days. So I don't think that was the main factor. I think it was oil prices that caused the lower income for the third quarter. But, at the same time, the government has committed to paying $75 billion a year in dividends for the next 5 years. So it's not so much the prices. They've already committed to paying the dividends for 5 years.
Yeah, that dividend is certainly getting a lot of attention. The other thing that seems to be getting a lot of attention, Sadad, is the valuation. At least according to reports, there's a wide divergence in terms of expectations around where Aramco is going to be valued when it goes public. Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly saying that the company's value is $2 trillion. You have bankers out there saying anywhere from 1.3 to 1.7 trillion. What's the right number? And I guess what's the right level for the Saudi government to move forward with this offering?
Well, Morgan, this is what we're trying to find out, I guess. The government wants to see what the appetite is for these shares. Based on the offers that they get, they'll be able to calculate what would be the market's estimate of the valuation, and then we'll see for sure. But I think the estimates are much closer to $2 trillion. We just saw the long-term energy outlook forecast from the EIA. Not so long ago, we saw one from Exxon. And they all show a very, very strong demand for oil for 2-3 decades to come. And Aramco is the lowest cost and is going to be there for a long time. So population growth, economic global growth, demand for energy, insufficient alternatives, sustainables are great, but not enough. All of these point to a big appetite for oil. And, you know, we're going to have also some institutional investors that could be sovereign funds from the Far East and elsewhere. So there's going to be a strong appetite, I think, for these shares.
How likely is it that we ultimately see a dual listing?
I'm sorry, I missed that question. Could you repeat that?
Sure. I said, how likely is it that we ultimately see a dual listing? So in addition to going public and listing in Saudi Arabia, so in addition to going public in Saudi Arabia on the Saudi Stock Exchange, that we ultimately see Saudi Aramco offer shares somewhere else as well?
This has been talked about a lot. It's been studied. I doubt very much that it will happen within the next few months. But, you know, frankly, if you can access Aramco's shares through the Saudi market for at least a year, I think that will give us a much better feel for what it would look like if they did go international. I'm not aware of any plans in the near term to do that.